Okay, so pulling through now. If you look, you can just see on the back of the loom there the old warp and the new warp that we tied in earlier. I've loosened this off and I'm going to start pulling it through. Now, there are many different ways to do this. No one way is the right one. You can just, whatever works for you. So I basically just start pulling it through as normal. And then I'm watching for the warp coming round the prickly roller, which you can't really see from there. Maybe if I try and adjust this. You can sort of see, so here is the prickly roller. This is what holds the cloth as it's coming forward, and then it goes round and onto another thing. So if I just carry on pulling this through, just until the knots kind of come up here. If I pull this forward, I don't know how well you can see, not really, but you can just see at the top there, whatever it is, somewhere there, the new warp coming through. So I'll just put this roller on here. On the other side. Now I find the easiest way to do this, so I'm going to release a bit more tension on this side, is to actually just push all 4 boards down and then just gently start pulling them through. Now for me, this is the easiest way, and it's the way that's had the least breaks as it comes through the reed. So this is the way I do it. But like I said, other weavers will have different ways, different techniques. There's some who keep pulling it through, you know, as a oner, which at least gives you even tension. Some people will pull it through, you know, just a couple of ends at a time. I quite like just grabbing a few, and you can feel, I mean, like here there's some that are just caught up, but you can feel when you're pulling them if there's any that are kind of sticking, and then you can sort it out. But for me, this is the quickest and best method. There we go, almost done. That's us there, and then we'll just wind this on until it starts to become tight. Tight up and starts pulling through. And then once it starts pulling on the beam, so that's that kind of creak that you can hear there just now. You're getting it. And then you can start to pull it inevitably. Maybe not inevitably. There'll be some loose ones. But there isn't these. The edges always end up a bit loose. Just release the tension a wee bit. So again, like I said, every weaver will have their own method of doing this. I now at this stage, I set the boards up, so these 4 boards here will always be weaving on a 2 up, 2 down pattern. So if 1 and 2 are up like that, 3 and 4 will be down, and so on. You'll see it as we're weaving. So when I finished the last tweed, it finished with boards 1 and 2 down, 3 and 4 up, just like you see there. And then as we weave, they'll move. 3 will go down, 4 will stay up, 1 will come up, then 4 will go down, which means 1 and 2 will be up, 3 and 4 will be down, and it cycles through like that. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1, etc. Normally I've got ichtering or perns left from the last tweed I've woven, which I would normally throw in at this point just to check the draft, but I used them all up at the end of the last tweed. So I'm going to go and make some perns, and then we'll come back. I'll do some just now completely contrasting colours so you can see what we're checking for before I then start putting in the right colours for this. Just taking an old pern from a previous tweed, and there's still one of the blues in the box there, so we just very slowly send one over, back, and because there are loose ends and things aren't set up right, the shuttle at this stage could easily come flying out the loom. So this is why we're just getting it going, and then we'll move it on a wee bit. So we can start to pull it through. We'll move this down a wee bit. So it should be better. So what we're looking for at this stage is that there are no broken ends. So we can check that by seeing, if there's 4 yellow, 4 brown, 4 yellow, 4 brown, so on, red, and all the rest of it. And we're also checking that we get this nice diagonal line because it's on a twill. So it's just making sure that none of these got crossed over. And it's actually all looking pretty good. You can start to adjust for tension a wee bit, but it's only really when you start weaving properly that you can make the final kind of adjustments to the start. But this is basically where we are. Next stage now is to make the perns, or the ichtjaching, which are those little mini bobbins that sit inside the shuttle. So this pattern is the same warp and weft, so we're going to need to make some red ones, brown, yellow and green. And then we also need to set up a pattern chain. So if I can try take this off. So the pattern chain will sit here, and it's just made up from all of these pattern cards, just like that. So I need to make up one of them, which will tell this box here to create or to move, so that I can create this pattern, like say from the 2 red to the first 2 red there. So that's your repeat. So I need to make that chain tell that box to create this. And that machine there that you see in the background, that is the pern winder. This is the pern winder and a screwdriver, which we'll be using to make the perns. So yeah, that's the next stage, that and the pattern chain.